What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And today we are deep diving, not just watching, but unraveling the layers of Vince Gilligan's latest masterpiece, Pluribus. Now, you might think a recap is something that the Don would do at this particular time, but nope. We're skipping the surface and diving straight into the subconscious of this show, exploring the hidden meanings and subtle clues you may have missed completely. The show's premise to me is fascinating. A happiness type virus infects people, putting them into a collective hive mind. But let's be real, Pluribus just isn't about a virus. It's a profound, chilling exploration of what happiness really means and whether sacrificing your individual self for a collective consciousness is worth the trade. So let's cut straight to the deeper meaning and the hidden visual clues and the numerical symbolism and the big question this show is truly posing. And after this video, you might just see this show in a different light. But before I get into it, make sure you do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up. 500 is the light goal. Let's try to trigger the YouTube algorithm. It truly helps the channel out. And subscribe to the channel for live streams that we'll be doing every week and more insight about this great show. Now let's start with the central conflict of the show, and that is the hive mind collective. Now Gilligan is asking us to seriously consider both the utopian and the terrifying aspects of this total unity. But before we dive deeper, let's look at the show's title, Pluribus. The name, it's Latin, and it means many or from many. It's the famous use, of course, is in the U.S. national motto, E pluribus una, which means out of many, one. The motto is a historical foundation of the United States meant to represent the union of many different people from different backgrounds, immigrants, states, cultures, all forming one single nation. And that's right there is the entire philosophy and foundation of the hive mind. A collective consciousness is essentially a physical, technological realization of this motto. It promises the ultimate unity to an end of war, an end of loneliness, to individual suffering. Everyone is connected, everyone understands each other, and everyone is in a state of perpetual collective happiness. It is the ultimate solution to all of our social problems, achieved by fusing the many into one. But here's the unsettling flip side. For the collective to function, individual identity has to be eradicated. It must be erased. Your thoughts, your dreams, your flaws, the very things that make you who you are must all be sacrificed for the sake of the pluribus. The show forces us to ask, is it still happiness if it isn't yours? If it is simply a shared, universal state, is it worth the price of your soul? Now this philosophical battle is masterfully symbolized in subtle ways throughout this episode, starting with the unexpected symbolism of our lead, Carol Job. Now we know that she's a famous author, and even though she has all these fans who are very committed to her, she is not happy about it at all. In fact, she kind of discredits them and says that they are not as great as she would like them to be. But there is one thing that stood out to me, and that is the sands, the purple sands that they kept talking about in her book. And this is a massive clue. Think about it. Sand, it's made up of countless, tiny, distinctive grains, each a unique piece, yet together they form a vast, unified, and seemingly solid mass. It is a perfect analogy for this hive mind. Many individuals making up one whole. The choice of purple in the title, which we'll discuss in a moment, connects this natural collective imagery directly to the theme of the hive. Now, let's talk about colors, starting with purple. Now, did you notice that in many scenes, in fact, just about every scene that we see, we can see a whole lot of purple. Even the cop lights, they form a purple sheen. We see purple in atmospheric lighting, to clothing, and certain background characters. Purple is practically a visual theme song for the collective. In the color psychology, purple often signifies independence, balance, mystery, or spirituality. But within the context of Pluribus, its constant presence, particularly around scenes involving the affective, hints at a sense of a hive mind itself. It represents a perfect, enforced balance, a state where all conflicting thoughts are merged into one harmonious, controlled whole. But here is the twist. It also signifies independence, as I said a little bit ago. An independence the collective claims to offer from the chaos of individual life. Now, it's a clever visual contradiction that points out the seductive nature of the hive mind's false promise. Now we pivot to another color that we've seen worn by Carol throughout this whole episode. She is also dressed almost exclusively, but as we even see in a lot of the trailer footage, in yellow. And this is no accident. Gilligan is screaming at us that she is our outlier, while the rest of the world is subtly immersed in the collective's purple. Carol is a splash of brilliant yellow. This color immediately marks her out as different, an independent mind standing apart from the collective. But yellow is a complex color with layered meanings that perfectly reflect Carol's journey. In many traditions, yellow symbolizes hope, intelligence, and energy, all qualities she needs to resist the hive mind. She is the light and the spark of individuality in this dark uniformity. However, in some religions, yellow is also associated with mourning. And given the fact that we've seen her lose her partner, her yellow wardrobe is a poignant visual representation of her grief. Since she is simultaneously mourning a personal loss and representing the hope for the future outside the hive mind, she is fighting for an individual hope while carrying an individual pain. Now, the juxtaposition of her yellow against the collective's purple is the show's most potent visual metaphor for the fight between individuality and conformity. Finally, let's talk about something else that I have noticed that you might not have, and that is that this thing is loaded with the number 13 and the symbolism of this number 13. In episode 1, we learned that exactly 13 people were unaffected by this so-called happiness virus that I'll call it. This specific number is crucial, especially when you consider the show's title, Pluribus. The number 13 is the same number of the colonies that originated to form the single American nation. The very origin point of the E Pluribus Unum motto. The show deliberately uses this number to parallel the birth of the United States, a union of 13 distinct entities into one nation, just as the hive mind takes the many and creates the one. And these 13 survivors, they are the ones who are resisting that final forced union. They represent the original, necessary chaos and independence, and beyond its historical ties. The number 13 itself is many mystical and cultural contexts is a powerful symbol of transformation, change, and rebirth. These 13 aren't just survivors, they are the catalyst for the fundamental change in the world's structure. They represent a potential transformation away from the hive mind and toward a new beginning for true individuality and humanity. Furthermore, 13 is often associated with cycles of the moon and is a powerful symbol of feminine power. With Carol, a strong female, leading the charge against the collective, this symbolism reinforces her role as the driving force of this massive change. She is the embodiment of the transformation power in the number 13. So there you have it, episode 1, symbolism, broke down by yours truly, the Don Tony Teflon. Gilligan and his team are trying to tell us a deeper story about what we sacrifice when we seek perfection and a happiness that comes with no effort. But we have only scratched the surface on this channel. And with episode 1, I'll be back with the symbolism from episode 2. And then we will go back to doing regular recaps and reviews when we do the live streams, but we'll keep breaking it down like this and deep diving into these episodes. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And you tell me what your favorite part of episode 1 was in the comments section. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.